Jerry, Belichick out. I do believe the Patriots are done. It's over. I kind of love the end of this dynasty, right? It's been 2 decades. As a long-suffering Jets fan, Colin, it's painful. But I can't wait for the Bills to open a can on this overrated New England team. Colin, I'm telling you, here's your challenge Saturday when you're just chilling, waiting for the games on Sunday. Look at this Patriots roster. You tell me it is, talent-wise, not one of the worst 3 in the league. Seriously, they do not have talent. Given the COVID opt-outs, the loss of Brady, no Edelman this weekend, N'Keal Harry might be out. I mean, where's the offense coming from? I like Buffalo here, man. I'm sorry. I really like the Bills.
No, we've said it before. This is what Brady was yelling and screaming about last year. He wanted more players. All right, tomorrow's headlines today. Niners at the Seahawks.
You know, Russell Wilson, we have to talk about your BFF every weekend. Listen, when you invite him out here to L.A. and hang with him, I better get the call, Colin.
Okay, yeah.
The headline this weekend will be Jimmy G-less in Seattle. Listen, Sleepless in Seattle, Colin. Come on. It's not a Matthew McConaughey movie, but it's a good one. Seattle's aside here. This is strange. San Francisco left for dead a couple weeks ago when the Dolphins beat up on them badly. And then they run the football the next 2 weeks and, you know, truck the Rams and they run over the Patriots. Guess what Seattle does defensively? Top 10 run defense in the league. And, you know, this San Francisco front 7 is good. The secondary is a mash unit. Still no Richard Sherman. Russell Wilson off a loss here feels like a lock. By the way, he's 11-4-1 against the spread in his career against San Francisco. Russell Wilson in a bounce-back spot. Remember, he had 3 interceptions in a primetime game. Very uncharacteristic of him. I think he really has a strong game. Seattle big against the Niners.
By the way, you like the Dolphins in an upset, so do I. You like the Seahawks, so do I. Finally, tomorrow's headlines today. Cowboys at the Eagles.
This could be a tough watch on Sunday Night Football. The headline will be Eagles shine once in a while. I think Philadelphia comes through here. It's not going to be pleasing to the eyes, but remember, we have not seen, Colin, a complete game performance out of Carson Wentz yet. It's like a great fourth quarter against the Ravens, a great fourth against the Giants last week, but he's been very uneven, and I can't buy anything with Dallas right now. I've been saying on my podcast, I believe, Colin, this could be the offseason. We see Jerry Jones maybe move on from Amari Cooper, maybe move on from Zeke Elliott. We've seen the Rams come off Todd Gurley. They're fine, okay? I think the Cowboys are a very poorly constructed team. Jerry's going to realize this fast if he hasn't already. The fire sale has begun on defense. They just don't have a lot of talent outside of the skill position players. That's not getting you anywhere. I like the Eagles this weekend, and I like Jerry Jones to be very angry again next week come NFL time.
Great stuff. Straight Fire, Jason McIntyre, his daily podcast on iHeartRadio. Good seeing you, buddy.
All right, pal. Enjoy.
All right. So speaking of Dallas, I just saw a story yesterday. I didn't have time to get to it. Cowboys not willing to deal Michael Gallup ahead of the trade deadline. Now, they made a couple of little moves. Amari Cooper's actually not that hard to move because he's got guaranteed $20 million, but you can convert that to a signing bonus. You can spread it out over years for a team. I think he'd be great in Green Bay. But it's interesting about this. I think Jerry Jones has a problem letting guys go that he's been given credit for. It's very easy to let, Dontario Poe, Everson Griffin go. He's never been given credit for that. But Jerry found Michael Gallup in the 3rd round, and he's a good deep ball receiver. So Jerry likes to get credit for it. Jerry drafted Zeke. Remember, number 4 in the draft? At a time, everybody said, you can't draft a running back 4. I mean, that was the narrative. You cannot draft a running back 4. He led the league in rushing as a rookie. Jerry got credit for finding Dak in the 4th round. For finding Jalen Smith. Remember, he got injured at Notre Dame, and people said, you can't draft him. And Jerry's like, I'm going to draft him. And what do you know? He's been a good player. Jerry likes to get credit. In fact, I've got a little insight on this. That was always the problem with Jimmy and Jerry, is that Jimmy Johnson came in and was winning, and Jerry was still more vibrant and young, dynamic at the time, and he said, listen, man, I'm in my great years. This is my toy, too. I want to get credit for it. And Jimmy's like, well, you're the business guy. I'm the football guy, which, of course, is true. But Jerry started moving over to the football sides of the operation. He didn't Jimmy's first 2 or 3 years. I mean, Jerry would stand one side of the building, Jimmy would stand the other. But as they were having success, Jerry's like, Well, this is I want to get some credit, too. So it was a credit argument. This is kind of what broke up the Lakers, too. Phil and Jerry West and the Riley. And you get to these kind of huge brands. The Yankees have had some issues where everybody wants to get credit. That's how guys are. We're goofy. A lot of ego. And so, Jerry wanted to have some fun in his prime, get a little credit for it. And Jimmy's like, come on now. You're the business icon. I'm the football dude. And by the way, Bill Parcells, same thing. Is that Jerry wanted to impose sort of his will and his power and Jerry's got a problem not getting credit for some of this because he played football at Arkansas and he knows football, played back in the Southwestern Conference. I think Arkansas was in that conference then. He wants a little credit. And Jerry does know more football than most owners. I'm not saying that. But the problem is many of the people I think they should consider moving, like Amari Cooper, that's another one they got credit for. Because remember, he traded a first-round pick for Amari Cooper. And everybody goes, you can't give a first-round pick for an expensive receiver. And Amari, day one, worked with Dak. So Jerry was like, oh, Jerry is so smart. This is the problem. I think Jerry's just got to come to terms with whether I get credit or not, I got to move Michael Gallup or I got to move Amari Cooper. I got to move two guys I got credit for because otherwise, after they get boat raced this weekend, there's no turning back. You got to make moves. Trading deadline Tuesday. Hour 3, The Herd coming up.